Welcome to In Focus on this Sunday, July 20th, 2025. I'm Cheryl Wills. Today we turn our attention to the nearly 3.5 million senior citizens who call New York home and the movement to make the Empire State more age-friendly. Just weeks ago, Governor Hochul launched New York's first master plan for aging. It's designed to improve the quality of life for older New Yorkers, from housing to technology access. Our guests on this Sunday, Manhattan State Assemblymember Rebecca Seawright, the chair of the Aging Committee, will explain how this master plan for aging works. Plus, New York City's Aging Commissioner, Lorraine Cortes-Vazquez, is also here, why she says age-inclusive policies are needed now more than ever. And it's a hidden problem, often underreported and under-discussed. Elder abuse, what families need to know. All that and so much more happening now on In Focus. Let's begin today's conversation with Manhattan State Assemblymember Rebecca Seawright. Good to see you again.
Thank you, Cheryl, and it's great to be back on your show.
Thank you, and we have a lot to talk about this time. We're going to talk about New York's first ever master plan for aging, and I want to put on the screen some of the bullet points about this. Governor Hochul launched it just a few weeks ago, and this is important for senior citizens in New York to take note of, because this plan is going to hopefully improve everything from basic necessities to housing and, of course, preserve dignity and independence for older New Yorkers. Tell us more, because you are the chair of the Committee on Aging, so you know all about this.
Well, thank you, Cheryl. As an Assembly member representing parts of the Upper East Side and Roosevelt Island, I have in Manhattan the largest concentration of senior citizens in my district in Manhattan. So I'm particularly pleased to be chairing the Aging Committee in the state legislature, and I want to commend Governor Hochul and all the stakeholders and state agencies and my colleagues on the master plan that was recently released. This past budget cycle, we invested $45 million in seniors and elderly, and it's the biggest, largest investment in over 10 years that we've seen. So we're very excited about the master plan and how it's going to be a roadmap for legislators as we go back into session in January of what we need to implement and do and invest in for our senior population.
Yeah, and the goal is to make New York a more age-friendly state, right? So where will that $45 million go, especially as it relates to those in New York City, like the Upper East Side?
Right, and you know, New York was one of 4 states in the nation to receive the age-friendly designation by AARP, so we're very proud about that. This $45 million is going to invest in seniors. It's going to provide more caregiving services, more community-based organizations. It's going to be administered by our local government departments on aging. And we're very excited that this is a huge investment, a milestone for our senior population. So with the cuts coming out of Washington, it is disgraceful. And so this $45 million is going to go a long way, and hopefully we're going to continue to show this kind of investment when we go back into session.
Now, when you go back into session, you have some bills, right, focused on seniors in New York, and one of them will enact a public awareness campaign for elder fraud. Elder fraud is a big issue, often hidden, not well talked about, underreported. What will this bill do?
Well, I have a storefront office on 78th in York on the Upper East Side, and one of my constituents, an elderly retired woman, came in and her entire life savings was cleared out by fraud. And so this legislation that we passed unanimously, that I sponsored this past session, will create an education and an awareness campaign on fraud, the signs, what to look for, and then we're hoping to go back into session and pass even stronger legislation that mandates that banks will have the authority to put an instant hold on an account of a senior that they feel is being tampered with or that is a victim of fraud.
Yeah, that's a major issue. And let's touch on aging in place. not easy to do on a fixed income on the Upper East Side, let's say, for instance. So what is your advice to seniors who want to stay in New York City but can no longer afford to?
Well, that's a great question. I have a 91-year-old mother, and I can tell you firsthand that our seniors prefer to age in place. Sure. They prefer to stay home. It costs the government 30% less to keep a senior in their home than in an assisted living facility or a nursing home. And so what we're going to do is invest in more services so that seniors can remain in their homes, like remodeling their bathroom to access a wheelchair or a walker, or put grab bars on. The New York Foundation for Senior Citizens has a contract with the government to provide free transportation services to doctor's appointments. It's not income-based, and our seniors can take advantage of a lot of services that we're offering now in the home so that they can age in place.
Yeah, and this population is growing larger every year, right?
It certainly is.
Okay. Rebecca Seawright, Manhattan State Assembly member, appreciate your time. Keep fighting for our seniors.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you. And still to come, City Meals on Wheels still rolling right along, serving good daily for nearly 45 years. Stay with us. Hey, thanks for staying with us. Joining us now is Lorraine Cortes-Vazquez. She's the commissioner for the City Department of Aging. Commissioner, good to see you again.
It's great to see you always. Thank you for having us on.
Absolutely. And as you know, Governor Hochul recently launched New York's first master plan for the aging. And it's also going to affect the millions of seniors here in New York City. I want you to sort of pick it apart to explain how it's going to affect those in the 5 boroughs, especially when it comes to affordability of basic necessities and dignity, which is something you talk a lot about for seniors.
Right. Well, yeah, first of all, the one thing that I want to say, there's 1.8 million older adults in New York State, in New York City, and we are the largest area of New York State, the largest area agency on aging, not only in the United States, but also in New York State. And we also have a diverse population. So when we looked at the community, the master plan on aging, the first thing we did, and we served on every committee, and I was on the task force, the steering group. The focus for us was, it started out looking at a medical model, thinking about older adults and their critical needs, but not looking at as much as we wanted to on a community care focus, that people should live independently. And I must say that I am really proud of the work that the committee members did, and that the state leaders were also listening. So there's more alignment between looking at a community care approach where people can live independently rather than an institutional approach. And so that was a real big issue for us. Because most people, as you know, the studies all indicate that people want to live home. Yeah. They want to live independently.
They want to live at home. They want to live independently. So how will this master plan work for them? Because we all know it's tough to live in New York City on a fixed income when you're over 60.
So one of the things that we really looked at was the capital funding for older adult clubs, to make sure that we can have these activities and opportunities that provide not only nutritional services for older adults, that, we think of nutrition and food as medicine. So those centers are essential. We have 308 of them, and they now are a big, robust plan of the state plan. It is looking at capital funding for older adult centers, and that those facilities remain at state-of-the-art kind of facilities. That is key to this plan. The other big piece of this plan is they were looking at caregiving. And looking at caregiving, because caregivers is a growing segment of the older population. If you want to remain independently, you need caregivers. The plan focused a lot more on the formal caregiver, but we also know that the informal caregiver, like myself, like many people, care for their relatives. We are not paid employees, we are caregivers. And so the goal is to make sure that they incorporate more supports for the informal caregiver. The other thing that we're also looking at in the community care model is home care services.
Right.
I will be able to survive in the community and thrive in my community. I just need some assistance with some daily life activities. And that is an essential piece that we pushed for in this master plan.
Let me just jump in here, Commissioner. I'm sorry, we're almost
Sure.
out of time, but I want to touch on the 60th anniversary of the Older Americans Act. And that, of course, is the federal law that was designed to protect older New Yorkers. Commissioner, has that act lived up to its promise? And I ask that because so many seniors still fall through the cracks in this country. Many are abused, neglected, and exploited. And your thoughts on that?
The act in itself still has all of the basic premises, so we hope that it delivers. What concerns me is some of the other mandates and directions that are coming out of the federal government, which will have a direct impact on older adults, like the Medicaid and the Medicare funding cuts that we've been talking about. So while the Older American Act will have all of the provisions in there, will the funding be able to be there to support some of those measures that are essential?
Right, and quickly,
for older adults.
And quickly, what are your concerns about potential cuts to Medicaid for older New Yorkers?
Many older New Yorkers who are not in institutions depend on Medicaid for all of their health needs and health benefits. It is going to be devastating for older adults if these cuts come through at the magnitude that they're talking about. You could be Medicaid eligible and still live at home rather than be in an institution, which is cost effective. If these cuts come through, those type of programs are the programs in jeopardy, the programs that may keep you at home and thriving.
Yes. Okay.
I just want to remind everybody that it's only 2.6% of older adults over the age of 60 in New York City live in institutions, which means that 98% are not living in the institutions and need all of these services so that they can continue to survive in New York.
Lorraine Cortes-Vazquez, Commissioner for the City Department of Aging, thanks for your time. Time for another break. In Focus continues right after this. And now, a flashback from our New York One archives. December 25th, 2021, some 4 years ago, a beloved nonprofit marks a milestone with a special Christmas gift for seniors.
City Meals on Wheels.
Volunteers with City Meals on Wheels celebrated its 40th anniversary by doing what they do best on Christmas Day, delivering food to homebound senior citizens.
It all began in 1981.
When I discovered that government funds were only able to deliver weekday meals to the homebound elderly and nothing at all on weekends or holidays.
Gail Green of New York Magazine was moved to action back in 1981, and nearly 2 million meals later, New Yorkers no longer have to suffer through long holiday weekends waiting for food. Shout out to the loyal army of volunteers who fan out across the 5 boroughs to get the job done. By the way, next year, City Meals on Wheels will celebrate 45 years of serving good daily. You're looking at Sunnyside Community Services in Queens, the nonprofit celebrating 50 years of helping seniors. Joining us now is Azia Pina Smith, Director of the Elder Justice Program. Azia, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And we want to talk about elder abuse because our whole show has been about seniors, and this is an issue that is underreported. It doesn't get a lot of attention. It's estimated that about 300,000 New Yorkers are victimized every year, according to the New York State Office for the Aging. So tell us how your elder justice program helps.
So I manage a team of powerful social workers who advocate, who serve, who support, who walk with our clients. Our clients who are older than 60 years old, could be from 60 to 98. I have a 98-year-old client. And we talk to them about what is happening, what is this abuse that's going on? And of course, abuse have different faces, right? We know that abuse is emotional, physical, financial exploitation. And a lot of the abuse that our clients are experiencing come from somebody that they trust.
And they know,
They know, and this is
sometimes a family member.
A family member. This is a spouse. This is an older sister, an older brother. Right now, I have a client. She's in her 70s. She lives with her mom, who has dementia, diagnosed with dementia. And her brother is preventing her from using the bathroom, preventing her from speaking to her mom, taking her money.
Isolation.
And so we talk about what does that look like. We create plans for them, safety planning. We will go with them and file order of protections if needed.
Really?
We partner with the Queen's DA's office. They are on speed dial with us. We go with them to court if need be. And these are all things that happened, and they are underreported.
And many people don't, Azia, know the signs.
Yes.
You know, so what are some of the, you mentioned one, but what are some of the obvious signs that families should look out for, even if they're in a nursing home or facility?
They should look out for changes in a person's character, right? Look out for marks, bruises, isolation, maybe in their speech, right? Maybe the way they handle their money. Maybe who is it that they're talking to? Because those are all signs that something is happening.
Yeah. Explain why it's especially important to protect people with dementia or Alzheimer's.
It's important because that is a very vulnerable population that do not have the capacity to make decisions for themselves, and they don't have the ability to actually know what's right and what's wrong.
Right. But it's a hard population because sometimes they think they know.
Right.
And it can be stressful.
Yes.
You know, so many of us are dealing with this on different levels. So how do you bring down the stress level and try to get your loved one to understand it's time to let go of the steering wheel a little bit and trust, you know, a child or a caregiver?
It's all about loving.
Yeah.
It's all about walking with them.
Yeah, and being patient.
Being patient and not to argue, not to fight, really listening. And of course, there's going to be moments where you're going to give in a little bit, right? But it's all about having a conversation and just keeping a very level voice.
Yeah.
No high pitch, no high voices, no screaming, no throwing things, just talking to them really, just like we're talking.
Yeah, that's very important. And the Elder Justice Program serves how many people? Mostly in Queens, right?
Mostly in Queens. Our catchment areas from District 1 through 7 and 11. So that ranges from Long Island City, Flushing,
Astoria.
Corona, Astoria. So we're all around there.
Yeah, and you're needed now more than ever. Thanks for coming in and talking about this
so
very
much.
important issue. Azia Pina Smith of Sunnyside Community Services, the Elder Justice Program. Appreciate your time. And by the way, for more information about elder abuse, call the New York State Adult Protective Services helpline at the number you see there on your screen. And now, our final focus. Senior citizens throughout the city are booked and busy this summer. Check out these creative folks at Lenox Hill Neighborhood House in Manhattan, showing off works of art with recycled materials in crafts class. Nicely done. And July babies, stand up. An epic birthday celebration at the Bensonhurst Older Adult Center in Brooklyn. Happy birthday, one and all. Thanks so much for watching In Focus. I'm Cheryl Wills. We appreciate you spending your Sunday with us. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. To keep up with important issues impacting our communities and hear more conversations with the people who are shaping the future, subscribe to our channel. You can also download our app or find Spectrum News on your TV for balanced, in-depth political coverage and more. We'll see you there.